Groot 3D, welcome Millennia. G'day mate, what's going on? Alright. Let's just tweak that angle a little bit. This is it. This is the last piece of the Diorama puzzle that we hope to finish tonight. Ooh, tonight, yay, yay. So a lot of work's gone into this diorama over the last few weeks. Let me just grab a picture of where we're at, ready in preparation. Where did I post it? There. Yep, this is where we're at. Very close to being finished. It's behind my head right now. Haven't poured any resin yet, but I think we will be doing so a little bit later on, potentially. Alright, so what I want to do on this chap, I'm not happy with this particular bit of metal. Don't think that looks very good. I want to tweak the skin tone a bit. And we need to finish the wraps and strapping on this. And that's pretty much it. Call it a day. Aha, Marwan Laswade. What's going on, superstar? Living the dream here in beautiful Brisbane. Oh, g'day Bangarang. What's going on, mate? Alright, let's kick off with some stuff. Has been a bit wet today. Not terrible. Yeah, certainly not the type of weather that Brisbane is famous for. The old upside down stream, eh? Oops, just got some orange somewhere there. Yeah, this is a big model. So let me give you a little. Here is some of the word miniatures, little dudes I painted. Chicken guy. Just give you some sort of indication as to how big it is. It was big. Yeah, I think I've shown them off already, but in case people haven't seen them, these are the models I've been painting for Word Miniatures on their stream. I'll zoom in so you can have a check out of them. They're pretty cool. I like this little guy. So yeah, I've done these in about 2 hours. About 2 hours for each of them. The streams. I don't know if you can still watch them actually. So I've got one more to do, which is this little dude riding the this tree man. Yeah. So I'll have a whole little warband of them finished. I don't know what they're called in that fucking game, but I'll have them finished on the next stream. And we'll do some bases and so forth, which will be fun. User. I should try out the game one time. I'm sure I'd like it. Better zoom back out. Mittens! What's happening, superstar? Yeah, I'm a bit spun out actually. I'm coming up on 11 months that I've been doing this, which seems absolutely wild to me. Oh, have fun. Thank you. Resin pour later on. Resin pour. Here we go. Here we go. Alright, so I'm unhappy with this skin tone comparatively to the rest of the piece. This is a very greyish skin tone, so I want to add some colour, but I think I'm actually going to try and add some green, maybe. We'll start off with a little bit of peanut butter. Just a touch. I regret gluing these two idiots together. Alright, let's add some green. I'm going to use a light green. Maybe use Warp Lightning green, I think. Right at the end of this project, finding it very hard to stay motivated. I want to start a new project. Alright. So, I'm using a contrast paint here. Airbrushing to add a greenish tinge to the skin. That seems like enough. Maybe I will actually Hey, Frog Jim, happy Party Monday, mates. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, so we sort of have reached the end of this this little project. So we may just add some dirt and dust using a bit of pigments here. This one's the go. G'day, Rosen's Metal. What's happening? Thank you. Yeah, let's hope it looks good when it's finished. I mean, we're very close, but yeah, a few little things to do. G'day, Nishland. Thanks. Thanks, Ada Kim. Yeah, we're going alright. Yeah, can't really see much there. We're waiting on this little bit of stuff over here to dry. I've used that to create a bit more of a seal with the edge, so we can hopefully get a nice clean resin pour. Yeah, so literally the only bit we've got left now is this resin pour and finishing off the big Wolf Rider chap. So I'm reasonably happy with most elements. I mean, I think there's bits and pieces I could do pretty much on everything. I'll try and do little stuff. Yeah, I will hopefully be doing the resin pour tonight. We'll see if this this little old stuff dries enough for me to want to risk it. There's so many little tiny details that I could just keep tweaking, and but I don't think we'll be going forever. Probably why I'm not very good. Don't have the willpower to keep persisting. I think the correct answer to that, when you stop, is when you can't stomach it anymore. Because honestly, I could just keep tweaking so many elements of this for a long time. A lot of tiny little details. You know, this shield, right, is a completely irrelevant part of this diorama, and yet here I am wanting to do more work on it because it's such a cool shield. You can't really even see that, but there you go. But no, there's a few things I wanted to do. The first is I want to tweak the leaves. So this is an interesting thing you can do with leaves. I think many people treat the old static grass and stuff that you spray on the base as one and done. You glue it on and that's it. You don't do anything else. And I think that's actually a missed opportunity. One of the things that you can observe about this piece, it's more evident further back, is how much more contrast there is in my work anyway, not necessarily with everyone's, but how much more contrast there is on my models versus the grass, the scenery and so forth. So you're missing that same level of contrast in these areas. So painting the rocks, painting the grass, painting the leaves that we're doing is actually going to help tie them all in together, and as a result is something I recommend. So I'm starting off by giving them a little contrast paint glaze and adding a few little areas. Here's another fun piece of advice, actually, now that I'm thinking of it. I said I'd do a basing stream at some point, so I will have to do a basing stream. Grass, ground, scenery is usually wet, there's usually moisture. So if you use a varnish, as I want to do, sometimes adding a few elements of moisture will actually help improve the final result. And because the contrast paints have a satin finish, you can do exactly that. Alright, so let's just highlight some leaves. Let's use a warm yellow, pastel yellow. So we're we're just going to add some highlights to the edges of the leaves. Which honestly doesn't sound like will have a big impact, but surprising how often just a couple of little edge highlights will help. Yep, that's the plan, Top. That is the plan. Which could just be an awful plan. And also, it's like fucking 2 a.m, mate. What are you doing? Ah, nice. Oh, that's reasonable. So why I think this is important. I create so much contrast in my figures, intentionally. When you glue a piece of grass, a piece of static grass to the base, it doesn't have anywhere near that same level of contrast, and so you can get a bit lost with the base, which is what you want. You want the base to be something that's a supporting element to the models, but it needs to have a sense of harmony. Yeah, that's a very, very relevant point. One of my things I like to share is contrast doesn't necessarily have to just be value contrast. It can be contrast between textured and smooth. It can be contrast between light and dark, warm and cold, saturated and desaturated. So you can only see sort of a very limited angle here. Here's the picture of what it looks like. I took a proper picture with my good camera. So, but I do think its best angle is slightly raised over the top of that. Just fractionally. And I've tweaked some elements since then. I added this white arrow, which I think is fucking mad. Alright, is this bit going to be dry enough for a resin pour? I wonder. It's nerve-wracking. I might try and speed it up a bit. Ooh. So nervous. Yeah, good question. So I bought some plastic stuff from a local office supplies store called Officeworks. So that's this stuff. I don't actually know how it's going to go. It's like stiffish board. And then I use hot glue to attach that to the base, but the hot glue wasn't really working effectively enough. So what I had to do was get a bit of super glue and attach it on the inside of the base. And I used the super glue to adhere this to the top part of the base. So like I put a bit of super glue here along this line and then stuck it here. Use some accelerant to hold it in place and then put hot glue around the edge. So in theory, it will have a smooth seal, because what I then did is grab some gloss Mod Podge. No test pause, mate. Fuck that noise. Grabbed the Mod Podge and I created a seal all the way around the edge. So it should be fine. I mean, this particular resin isn't like a high temperature resin. It cures pretty low temps. I use it on Camelot, and in the Lady of the Lake scene, and that was just foam in some parts. And to be fair, it did eat through the foam, but in one part. But I'm sure this will be fine, probably. Thanks, Twegman, you absolute legend. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be absolutely magnificent. Confident. I really want that to be ready for our resin pour later on, so just going to tweak it. Great. And it's okay if it's a little bit cloudy still, because I think it'll dry. I don't think it requires air drying, and the resin I'm going to mix up is not going to be fully clear. Alright, let's focus on this chap and see what we can get done. Where is that? That colour. All of the videos are already on YouTube, my friend. Everything is there, free and available to watch until I start doing a Patreon, and then everything will cost you hundreds of dollars to get all of my content. Wilson, my friend, welcome to the stream. I am working on a diorama. This is what it looks like. That's not quite finished, but I'm painting the last chap. Wilson from Castaway, hello. Wilson! Here's the diorama in the background. It's about this big. I will pull my camera back and show everyone later on when we're getting to the finishing stages. But we're not there yet. Let's finish this chap. Thanks, mate. I certainly think so. Alright, black, bit of black. That's a good one to catch up on, actually, on the YouTubes, because I did that in about 45 minutes. It got its own YouTube video. Yeah. Yeah, it's a technique called salt weathering. Surprisingly easy to do. Yeah, that's perfect for Death Guard, mate. Absolutely perfect for him. Oh, mate, I started painting miniatures when I was in school. So, my first miniature I think that I painted was like grade 5. And that's like 25 years ago, 13, maybe, about then. I've only been doing this sort of painting seriously for about the last 5 or 6 years. 5 years. 5 years, maybe 6, coming up on 6 for sure. Rappy raps. Yeah, looking sharp, mate. Head like a fucking butcher's apron, I tell ya. Oh, I'm gonna do the fucking wood first. Ah, you're an idiot, Dano. Maybe we'll get away with it. Oh, I was wondering where that fucking bit was. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to dig around my bits box to try and find where that little bit of wrapping goes. Has gone. I did host a couple of little ones, just here in Brisbane. I did do one in Melbourne as well. It was interesting. I mean, I think I had a few people ask me about doing classes, and I always felt like, oh fuck, I'm not good enough to be hosting classes. But then my good friend Gavin said that he would help me, and so I agreed to do it. And he convinced me by saying, I don't need to teach people to be the best painter in the world. I just need to teach them how I do things. And I think that was a good perspective. So yeah, my class sort of focuses on some basic fundamentals. Doom Trousers, no, I didn't do Melbourne packs. I just did a class at House of War. 2018, I think it was. Yeah, I sort of talk on a lot of theory stuff, and then I moved into implementing it with my techniques. You know, the approach that I have towards my techniques, which are all speed. It's all about doing things as quickly as I can and as time effective as possible. And a very high contrast style. Some people would say too high. Well, the old pandemic break's given me a bit of time to reflect, and I don't know that I will do any more classes in future, no. So I think what I want to achieve out of my hobby, it's not financial. I don't need to do this for money. I have a job that I like, that I spend my time doing. So the only reason I do things these days for my hobby is because it helps me be better, or gives me something of value. And I don't know that repeating the same classes over and over is going to add that much value for me. But what I did find though was explaining the way that I do things was really helpful the first few times I did it, in particular because I was forcing myself to think about different ways to explain what I did, and in some cases actually even forcing myself to understand what I did, because I've been doing this for such a long time now, I don't even think about it sometimes. So it was interesting from that perspective. Haha, thank you, Wilson. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. So that's not a no. It's not a no that I'm not going to teach any more classes. It's just that if I'm going to teach a class, I want to ensure that I'm going to gain some value from doing so. So if I was going to teach a class, it would probably be something like an advanced airbrushing class, something like that, where I can challenge myself to teach different stuff. Kenkfist, thank you for following. And I have had many people ask me about doing like an airbrush class or a advanced non-metallic metals class or something like that. Yeah, Eric's awesome. Eric's awesome. Really nice dude too. He's yeah, incredible actually. I got to see his stuff at Monte San Savigno last year, year before I think. Yeah. He won a gold in the open category and gold in fantasy masters, which was unreal. Yeah. Yeah, you should look it up. He did a one of a kind sculpt based on a Warcraft character. Thrall. You got Freeman, who's a fairly well-known sculptor. Probably done a lot of figures that you've been enthusiastic about. And yeah, he painted that. Got a gold. So if you have any interest in Warcraft as a setting, yeah, just should be able to Google Eric Swinson Thrall maybe, and that should bring it up, I would think. Nice. I've been seriously thinking about a 3D printer these last few days. I don't have one. I haven't ever wanted one until I did this project. Actually, that's not true. I have thought about one before. I've wanted one before, particularly during Camelot. Not because I want to 3D print models, because I don't. I want to buy models to support creators. I really want to 3D print terrain for stuff like this diorama. It is just So cool to be able to go searching for something, you know, trees, rocks, plants, castle walls, whatever your heart can conjure, to be able to then use on a diorama. I feel like that would be really cool. Yeah, and my eventual plan is to learn how to sculpt for myself, so that'd be nice to print out something of my own at some point. Oz Parky, thanks for the follow, mate. Or is it Austrian Sparky? I wonder. Anyway, so I've been thinking about it, and in the end, I said to myself, no, I'm not going to get a 3D printer. I want to make the things. Well, I thought it could have been Oz Sparky, but I thought it'd be funny. And that's the other facet. So I've got a friend of mine. His name's Mark Rhodes, and he does 3D printing as a hobby. That's his hobby. He paints models as a side to that, but he literally just he likes trying out printers and setting up things and, you know, all this sort of stuff. And it's just, mate, it's a whole different set of skill sets that I don't have, and I don't actually want to spend the time learning. That's the thing. I'd much rather spend my time learning how to be a better toy soldier painter. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Nicky Minis. For you friends that have just joined, this is a part of a large diorama that I'm working on, and here it is. This is the last piece. It's sitting behind my head, and we're going to do a resin pour later on. Live on Twitch. Always a good plan. Thank you, mate. There is a laundry list of people who still ask me that question. And I tell those wonderful people, I've done it all on stream. I don't know what more I can do. Jaxie, you superstar. Welcome. Welcome to all the great people from Drax's stream. How are you, champion? G'day, Rumble. These models, or which orcs are you talking about? Nocturna. Yeah, I got mine. I'm not sure how long it took from shipping. It certainly wasn't as quick as it has been in the past, but I don't feel like it took that much longer. Like I wasn't looking around in the mail wondering where the fuck they were. Jan, what's going on? just saw you there, mate. How are you, champion? I am. So let me show you my process. I have a little bit of paper towel here. So, and I have my water cup just here. So generally what I do is I wash out my brush and then I'll come and grab some paint. Let's grab some of this bright yellowy colour. So I'll grab paint to the right consistency. If I'm confident I'm in good shape, I'll just go straight to the model. Usually I'll wipe a little bit off on this paper towel. However, very important, I'm actually wiping it off on a moist part of paper towel, not a dry part of paper towel. Because what happens when you go on a dry part of paper towel is it will actually take the moisture out of the brush to the point where it can change the way that it flows from the brush. So I use a moist paper towel for that. Does depend on what exactly I'm trying to do. Of course, variety of things. And I guess when people ask me, oh, how'd you learn how to paint back in grade, and you're always so quick and stuff. This is just a practice like that. I can't really give you a reason as to when I do it, why I do it. Sometimes I can just feel from when the paint comes off the brush. I don't need to. Sometimes I just can do it by feel. Draxi, I only got a couple of the figures from that Kickstarter. I only got the big dude on the orc and the minotaur. If that helps. Bunny, 7 months. Thanks, champion. That might have relevant, I'm not sure. Yeah. Australia's usually last in getting shipped stuff from those sorts of Kickstarters, miniature Kickstarters in Europe anyway. We're usually first when it comes to board games from Asia. One of the first, but yeah, we're usually last when it comes to other ones. Interestingly, I was one of the people to last get Camelot. Still first to finish. All of them. Yeah, boy. That may be the case, yeah, for Camelot. Maybe. So this stage of painting that I'm doing now, friends, is one that I think separates the... Oh, Bunny, you're on fire. Thanks. I think what separates some of the better painters in the world is some of those people who want to be better painters. It's just that last stage of contrast. You sometimes think to yourself, yeah, this is good, I don't need to go anymore. Don't need to add any more. We're all good. Everything looks great. And then you just go one final step and it's like everything comes alive. Me, please. I got a bronze medal at Monty and I got a silver medal at Scale Model Challenge and I nearly shut myself, I was that enthusiastic. So, there is many people better than me. Bunny, if there is one piece of criticism I would level at the contrast paints, it is how fucked their pots are. I've spilled many a contrast paint on my desk. I was absolutely stoked, by the way. It's on film too. Thank you, Wilson. Me getting my silver medal at SMC. What a wonderful time. Yep. Let me see if I can grab it for you. For anyone who's interested in watching. I better check. G'day, Bucks. Oh, mate. Just finished season 3, episode 7. 3 to go in Black Sails. It's good stuff. Here, have a look at my Camelot video. There you go. It's so good. No, I'm loving it. I've said many times, I've known for a long time that I'd be loving it. It's not a matter of if. It was always a matter of when I got around to watching it. So. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you for the following. Thank you, Wilson. Yes, it is pretty sick. That's the project I did early this year. Do you know, I'm actually jazzed for a pirate. I want to build a fucking ship, paint some pirates. Oh, you know what I want to do? I actually said I've loaded up the old... where is it? There it is. Yeah, I loaded up the old Pirates of the Caribbean. Thank you, Ivy. Pirates of the Caribbean, mate. Can't wait. Ready to watch Pirates of the Caribbean. The majority of this video is just me and my girlfriend being absolute clowns walking around. She's making fun of me. What am I doing here? What am I doing in this video? Now we're playing a board game of cards. And I smash her at it. She has the shit kicked out of her. It's so great. Alright. Tell you what. If you want to watch it, it's here. Don't tell my girlfriend I sent it. She'll be very unhappy with me. But if you skip through to the end, you'll see SMC 2019 and the awards ceremony. It's pretty cool. What did the Spaniards come through? What did they deliver? Bucksy? Finally. Ah, beautiful. Nice. You've been hanging out for a new figure to paint that isn't an anatomical bust, don't you? Awesome, Twig Man. Let's have a look. Oh shit. Not that. This? Come on, Dad. Come on, mate. Hey, what a superstar I am at Twitch streaming. This is awesome. Wow, I love the gold. That is really cool. That gold bracelet. No, that's awesome. Necklace thing. Awesome, really cool. So I love the skin tone and the softness that you can get through that airbrush. My one observation would be, if you'd like some feedback, I should say, if you'd like any feedback on it. I hope I don't do that, but yeah, no, I think so. When you look at this angle of the face, you've got really nice warm tones. You've got really nice cold tones on this side, which is awesome. And this angle looks good. But the one thing I think you're missing, you don't have quite enough contrast on either of those sides. I think just a few little sparkles of contrast. A little bit higher value skin going back in after the airbrush is usually when you get that last steps. So yeah, but man, it's awesome. Very big fan of that. Well done. Big relic due. What's happening, you superstar? Not long now for us to have another game of Twilight Imperium, my friend. Counting down the hours. Oh, it's Party Monday, mate, so it's important that you wear a tie on Party Monday. Absolutely crucial. Everyone that's in the stream, mate, is wearing a tie tonight, so if you're not, you're not welcome. I jest, great man. You're always welcome in my house. Alright. This project has been an absolute delight. In every way, shape or form. Thank you, Rumble. But we do have to bring it to a close at some point. Well, Whale, you haven't even seen the whole thing yet, mate. Here you go. This is what the whole thing looks like together. Well, there you go. I'll be quiet now. And it's sitting behind me. I reckon we are pretty close to calling this guy done. We'll need to review a few areas though. Yeah, maybe all that you care. I did actually, yes, I did. Whaley, this is the last day of the second week, so this will be 2 weeks in total, and I've spent a fair bit of time on it over those 2 weeks. I would suggest I probably spent on average about 2 hours a day, maybe, because there's been days where I haven't done much work, and there's been days where I've done a lot. But yeah, 2 weeks in total. So 30 30 odd hours, I guess. A lot of tricks in it though, Whaley. A lot of tricks, mate. G'day, iced fishing. Yeah, how good? How good? Here, I'm gonna put it up on screen actually, Whaley, because I do need to have a look at it overall. There's my pants, everyone, and my tie, my full tie. Here's the setup. Get amongst it. Morning, iced fishing. So these are all glued down now. So we are absolutely in the home stretch. Yeah, the paper towel is it's almost mandatory, I'll tell you that. Because, so I without going into too much detail, I've said this before. Thank you, Wampart, 9 months, what a champion. Yeah, we're gonna do some resin, Paul. We're gonna do some resin, not just yet. Okay, let me do paper towel. So the paper towel, it is your method for controlling the dilution. So you can paint with any dilution of paint, any paint whatsoever. But if you take a super watery paint from your palette to the model, it just floods the model. You don't have control. So the paper towel is your means of controlling the dilution. So it is. I think I did a little that class I was talking about before, and it's actually my golden rule: is you always go palette, paper towel, model. You never go palette straight to model unless you know what you're doing. So yeah, all right. So we've done a lot of stuff. Wonder if we should cut this guy's neck. That'd be pretty cool. A little bit macabre though, wouldn't it? Anyway, so this is all basically done, and these are all glued down. Do you reckon? Do you reckon I should? And then you could have blood dripping off this. That'd be fucking bad. That'd be fucking sick. Kill him! Fuck, I'm tempted to do that now. Just get a knife and be like, scrape that. Wow. Let me think before we make a rash decision. What was I talking about? Someone asked me to bring this. Oh yeah, Whaley did. Yeah, so this is the whole piece. We've just got to finish this guy. They are all from the same set, yeah. I'm gonna do it, aren't I? That's dumb. Yeah, these are all from the same manufacturer. They're not really a set, I guess. Maybe they kind of are. How fucking mad would it be though? Like if I cut his neck and then there was blood dripping down his thing. He looks a bit resigned. He looks a bit resigned for his throat to be like. Where's that? Here, you reckon? Don't forget this is the angle you see it at, so you don't really see them that much. But yeah, you could be right. I forget why I needed to bring this up. Oh, that's right, I need to look at that. I'm actually doing some painting, sorry. Just remembered I'm on stream. Yeah, he looks like he's resigned to his fate, but he doesn't look like he's about to have his throat collapse after being shredded. Wampa, as always, the voice of reason. I remember what I wanted to do. I remember. I could probably just rip the elf out, find a head with a face that was going, ah, and cut it out. And just replace that head. That'd be relatively easy to do, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air, never be so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who would it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. Alright, so what I wanted to do was grab out a product that I've not yet ever used before and ask everyone on the stream their advice. So this product is called Nurgle's Rot. That would be mad. Look, honestly, if the face was in any way like suitable to do it, I'd be all over it, like Big Deno on a cream bun. Absolutely all over it. But I can't reconcile this face. Let's zoom in on his face and you can see how. He just doesn't look like he's had his throat cut. He'd need to have his mouth be like, I reckon. That'd be sick. Anyway, Nurgle's Rot, here it is. So this is like a glossy stuff. Glossy thing. So where should I put this? Does it dry clear, or does it dry opaque? Anyone used it that can explain to me how it works before I start slathering it all over my model? Dries murky. Okay. Is it like PVA glue consistency where you can make it stringy, or is it just like Blood for the Blood God technical paint and the gloss wears off? Okay. I literally didn't try it, but I thought, oh, I'll buy some, maybe it'll be interesting. Yeah, okay. But is it more opaque? Because Blood for the Blood God dries clear. Or see-through. Is this opaque? Okay. What I was thinking about doing with it is pools of water on the ground. Like just do little spludges of this stuff on the ground. Let's try a little bit up the back, see how it looks. In an area we can't see. Let's try that. Dumb Foe, thanks mate. It's a bit of a rough name to call yourself. I'm sure you're a legend. G'day Plank. Now let's just leave that and see how that dries. Oh, thanks, mate. Here's the whole thing. Get it done. Get it done, Jen. It is pretty big, yes. Here is a normal 28mm model for scale reference. Hello. All right. Oof. We're gonna do some resin pouring soon. Not just yet, but soon. On your plank, wanker. I'm gonna try drying this with my hairdryer. Newell and Party Monday, what's up? Dry. I don't know. I don't know if it actually adds anything. You know? Haha, Nicky Jags, what's happening? Yeah, I'm just not sure it's adding anything of value to the piece. Yeah, boy. Oh, thanks, Twigman. Not sure. Ooh. All right, a little bit more hairdryer on that Mod Podge. G'day, Chuhan. So the absolute worst case scenario with this seal that I've done around the edges, right, this little stuff here, the absolute worst case scenario is that it ruins the bottom part of the base. And if that happens, I can sand it and paint it black. So I'm not actually concerned if we get some spillage and some stuff, and I may even have to do that anyway because it looks like I've got a little bit of run through in these areas anyway. So I'll have a look at that. That's the absolute worst case scenario. The second worst case scenario is this would melt and the resin runs over. Probably not ideal, but I think I can work around that. Something I'm planning on trying is after I've done my layer of resin, I'm then going to add some resin, like a resin waterfall here. That's what I'm thinking about doing, like a slimy waterfall of some description. We'll see if that plan works. I'm not sure. This is all best guess stuff at this stage. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to peel this hot glue off. Yeah, let's give this just a little bit more time. No, actually, let's do it now. Bucket. All right, I'm gonna get the camera in a different position here, friends, because I'm a bit nervous about bumping the camera whilst I'm dealing with resin. So you're gonna have a brand new angle to look at, which we've never looked at before on my stream. There we go. Put this bad boy back up here. All right. So because we need to mix some resin here, and this is a fairly labor-intensive process. Yeah, it's gonna be green-ish. We're gonna try a few things. So I've got some green ink, which I'm gonna use if I can find it. Maybe up here. Maybe not. What the fuck is up there? Lime. That looks a bit full on. No, I don't want that colour. Where's my fucking intensity green? Intense brown. Intense violet. I'm sure I've got a green somewhere. Maybe we'll just use contrast paint. That'll work. Alright, here's my resin. I've got two resins. I've got this Envirotex pour, which is pretty good. But it does get quite heated. And when the temperature goes up, it gets very high temperature. This is the resin I'm going to use. This is a resin I bought from a thing called River Table Epoxy. It's pretty good. Yeah, cool. This is a butane torch that I bought. Is it? No, it sort of looks dark. It looks really dark. And it's got a black lid. So I can't see it anywhere. That's intense black, that's intense brown, red, yellow. What's this one? Wood. That's a good colour. But no, it's not wood. No. Usually you can find it when you look for the colour of the lid. But I can't see that bad boy anywhere. Maybe it is up here. I just didn't look hard enough. No, you fucking twat, you know. It'll be somewhere. Or I've chucked the fucker out. So I'm going to use this brown pigment and mix this blue pigment paste together. Alright, you can fuck off. Get some of my glovies. Keep some gloves for this particular experience. Very fun. And I bought these cups for the same. I really like the Scale 75 Fantasy, really like it. But I really like it because they are an intense range of colours, satiny and intense. That's what I like. I'm actually going to move this out of the way just now while I mix the resin. Okay, so this is 2 parts A or 1 part B. Blah 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 blah. So if you use the Scale 75 Fantasy range as like your base coats and painting with all the time, I don't think they're very good because they are slightly transparent. They're no good. But if you're using them as glazes over other colours, I find them to be awesome because they're really intense colours. Yeah. Okay, so we have 3 equal parts of stuff. Yeah. Professor Deno. Where's my fucking sticks? Aha! I bought sticks. Sticks for mixing. Alright. So I added just a tiny little bit more of this gear. This one. Because it is a little bit thicker and it takes a little bit longer to come out of the cup. I always prescribe to the eyeball method, friends, which is usually a fantastic way of working with resin. Just hope for the best. That's a lie, don't do that. That's a terrible plan. Alright. This one's really thin. This one tends to mix really, really well. You usually have to mix this for about 5 minutes. You want it to be thoroughly mixed. Depends on the resin. I've found with Envirotex it actually works better when you mix it for less, but this one you really need to have a thorough mixing. Yeah, salt masking is good. Yeah, it should be, mate. It should be. It should probably be on both hands. It's just a little too late. How was your result on your salt masking, Chuhan? Alright, so let's try a little bit of this brown. This stuff is super intense. These were like fucking $10, and for Camelot, I used the tiniest little sliver, like this much, not even this much, this much. So we want it to be fairly opaque here, so let's try a fair bit of brown. Bit too chocolatey at the moment. Let's add some blue. Oh, that's a terrible idea, Dino. Don't do that again. that is an outright awful idea. I've mixed resin into the lid of my container. Well, this is fun. We're learning together. Good, good. This is excellent. All right. Oh, now we're going to blue. Oh no, that's okay. So this is the color. It's kind of a slimy blue-green. So this looks quite dark in the pot, in the cup, right? It shouldn't, says, fingers crossed, look that thick on a layer, in a thinnish layer on the base. Shouldn't, theoretically. All right, let's actually pour this into a whole nother cup. This cup's a fucking disaster. This is normally what my resin pouring experience is like, friends. It is a clusterfuck. So this is just business as usual, alright? If you're wondering why this looks chaotic, every time I do this I'm like, oh my god, I am gonna kill myself. Great. We're perfect. We're in good shape. Alright, this is all rubbish. Great. This is clean. Ready to go. Rubbish, rubbish. Bit more rubbish. Wonderful. Glove off. Bit of rubbish. Perfect. G'day, Sound Fetler. We're having a great time. I've got these little doobie whackers as well that I keep here. They're just little wipes. Get some of that stuff off. Get some of this gear off. All right. Rubbish. The glove. It was protection level plus, mate, that was. All right, here we go. Here we go. The glove was well worthwhile. All right, I'll just grab another paper towel. Ready for if we need. Now, I had an idea for something that we may try. I love trying stuff in the middle of a project. I just love it. Ted Lasso, yes. Yeah, it might be all that you get. Yeah. Second tool that you need for resin is a bit of the old straw. Help to get most of the bubbles out. Well, you'll have to let me know how foundation is, because it is on my list of things to watch. Yeah, we probably went a little too thick with this colour. A little too thick with this paint. Pigment in this, but it's okay. Alright, we got a little bit of dripping there. I wonder if that's a drip from the model or from the inside, or if that is a drip. Oh yeah, we've got a drip here too. Looks like we are going for the sand the edges plan. Yeah, you can see down here it's coming through. Yeah, it's okay. I was prepared for this eventuality. I'm sure he won't. They won't. She won't. So there's a tiny little pool of water. Alright, we're just going to need to do something about this bit here. What's the best way to fix that, do you reckon, Deno? Got a little bit more of this stuff, but it's probably not going to create a tight enough seal, I don't think. This should be ready by tomorrow, mate. In theory. Yeah. Good news is that this is a very slow and small leak, so we should be able to keep it intact. Hopefully. And if not, well, I was planning on doing a waterfall type thing at the front here anyway, so we'll just lean into that idea a bit more. created a small issue for myself. I've gone a little bit too deep on this side. Ah, you'll love to see it. You'll love to see it, Dano. Alright. The blue tack seal looks like we're mostly safe there. That's going to provide for some interesting peeling. You can see there's definitely stuff leaking down there. Alright, so I was thinking what we might try is a little bit of this stuff. Let's try mixing it into the resin. Let's see what that does. Yes, actually, there is a reason. Carbon dioxide is what releases the bubbles. There you go. You need to use a straw instead of the airbrush. Yeah, so I don't know what this is, if it's going to do anything, but well, that is interesting. Don't know that it's a good interesting, but I like it. Oh no, we've got some resin leaking out the bottom here. How did you get down there, you little bad boy? Hey? We are indeed in emergency repair now, friends. Emergency repair mode commences. Looks as though it's holding most of these areas, but not here. Alright. No, we don't panic. Not many problems we can't fix these days. Not many. hot glue gun. I am not a customer facing person these days. I used to be. No, I think a lot of my perspectives and experiences these days come from the fact that at some point there's only so many things that can happen that can go wrong. And I've fixed most of them in the past already, so nothing that happens is something I haven't dealt with before. Yeah, resin pouring is an interesting experience, I have to say. We need this. Back in 1 second, friends. That's just a little plastic tray for our resin pour. I should have a beer. I reckon we're going to need to do something about this situation here as well. Well, this is ugly. This is an ugly plan. I should have 7 beers. Remember that time I had like 7 beers on stream? That was good fun. Have you dried yet, you fucker? The resin's leaking into where my hot glue's going. How dare you? How dare you? Everywhere else is holding really nicely, except for this little spot right here. Thank you, Ulrich's Workshop. We're in a precarious situation right now with my resin pour. just got hot glue on my hands. Wiley, I'd love for you to get me a beer, mate. Absolutely love you too. Nicker Jaguar's Randall, by the way. Nicker Jags, Relic Jews Whaley, the great man. It is a fair few paints, isn't it? Probably an excessive amount, really. Alright, have you calmed down yet? You still haven't. Cover this up, you bad boy. Stop it. We may have to go to the third plan if this doesn't work. It's a good idea. Good idea, ice fishing. Yeah, like as I said earlier, I'm actually not that fussed on the base. Like if the base gets all fucked up, I was contemplating painting this black anyway. So I'm going to be able to just sand this and paint it black. So I'm not actually that concerned about the wood grain. I find the wood grain can sometimes not be as good for a base as just a black base. Alright, last try with the hot glue before we move to a different plan. So yeah, I'm not worried about the base being ugly. This will take about 24 hours, Whaley, so I'll have to wait to check this tomorrow night. Alright, let's check this backside down here. Yeah, you can see on this side, well, I don't know if you can see, but everything down here is smooth and clean. There's no resin leaking here. There's none here. There's maybe a tiny little bit here, but not really. The only area we've got, oh, interesting, shit happening is up in that little front corner spot, which is actually one of the areas I was most confident with, annoyingly. Yep. Again, I'm not really concerned about this. What we just need to make sure is that the seal's going to hold. Because if it's not going to hold, then we are in trouble. Because this resin is a very slow drying resin. Get away from me. No, this one will just stay in the shape that it's in. Will not change shape. No, we have failed. We have failed here. Alright, we go to the last of the options. This is a material, it's a two-part polymer putty called Knead It. It is a fantastic substance that will cure. Correct, yeah, as soon as we plug, if we plug the leaks, everything will be fine. We'll dry, we can sand, we can fix it all. We can add some slime running down the side so it looks like I intended it to look like this. All will be well. This stuff, 2-part epoxy, it's great stuff. Dries in about 4 minutes. Alright. This is going to absolutely fuck up this part of the plinth. Thank you, Space Toy. Yes, I am reasonably happy with it, mate. Okay, I think we've done about as much as we can do with this bad boy. That will hold. It is indeed, yes. That will hold. We'll just have to wait for that to dry. Most of these joins look good now. None of the other ones are leaking, which is great. So we can probably move on to my last plan, or my last thing I wanted to do. This stuff is like the shit. Alright, here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put some little leaves on the resin, top of the resin. So, these are leaves. I don't know if these will sink or not. I'm not sure. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. If they do, that's fine. I'll just add them at the end. Alright. That is basically rock solid now, the knead it, and it has created a seal, so we're fine there. The challenge will be peeling that off actually. I can't see any leaks in this area. Oh no, we've got one there. Bummer. Wonder if we can get away with that one. I wonder. Ooh, this is so hot it's melting the fucking putty. How good. Thank you, Conrad. Every resin pour I've ever done has been this absolute diabolical disaster, friends, so it's okay. This is business as usual. Yes, Conrad. I've mixed up a bit too much resin. I've got a little pool that I planned on pouring some resin in down here. Should I still do that, do you think, or is that just tempting fate? This is now sealed, friends. This is no longer a problem, this one down the bottom here. I might just tilt this down so you can see. Yeah, this is no longer a problem. I've sealed this tight. We may have some seals here that are a problem, but we may have fixed those as well. Yeah, everywhere else looks fine. Everywhere else looks sealed. There's just this join here, and then this wasn't a tight seal, and that's caused the resin to run down here. So yeah, we're in for an interesting time over the next 24 hours. Alright, do I want to try and pour it in there? Probably not, but I could do it with a smaller cup maybe. Let's try this way. No, it shouldn't, it's a very low drying temp. Thank you, Frog Jim, or whoever just did something then. Frog Jim wants me to sing a song while I'm pouring resin. The guy's got a fucking death wish, I tell you what. Raindrops keep falling on my head. That doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me, except for my resin pour, and how many ways I'm gonna kill Frog Jim. Because I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep up above in my head instead of going under. 'Cause I'm in too deep and I'm trying to keep up above in my head instead of going under. I'll remember this, friends. This is a moment that you shall come to regret. All right, I'm happy I did that actually. I feel like that was a good decision. And let's just add a little bit of this now. I don't even know if this is a good plan. I don't even know if this is going to fuck the resin cure or something, but I don't know if you can see it. It looks really cool. Let me see if I can zoom in for you. Just the pond, looks like pond scum or something in the water. I feel like it looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna roll with it. This bad boy. how's this feeling? Oh, I reckon we're okay. I reckon we are okay. All right. How good. I just want a little bit more resin down this side. Doesn't look deep enough. Cool. G'day, Rapid Transit. Alright friends, I think we are calling it a day on the resin pour. And whatever happens from here happens. Nothing we can do but hope for the best. I can see every spot is sealed. Certainly to a level of sealing that I'm satisfied with. Oh, spoke too soon, Deno. Yep. So we'll leave this bad boy overnight. And we're going to do something really fun now, which is me turn around and carry this behind me to the thing behind me. So wish me luck. Wonderful. Hands of a fucking surgeon. Never in doubt. Okay, I'm just gonna clean this area up. So I'm just gonna turn this off for a sec, friends. I will be back. We're gonna finish off this dude. So stand by. we're back with Camelot. How good. Alright, space toy, believe it or not, I've done something very special there. I've put it in a lid. So if the resin does leak, will be sweet. Sweet as. Fuck, that Camelot's a good piece, isn't it? Look friends, it wasn't as seamless as I was hoping. I thought I'd prepared well. I thought we had a nice tight seal. I tell you what probably was my mistake was just rushing to get it done tonight. If I had to let that Mod Podge dry, done another layer all the way around, created an airtight seal, I think we would have been fine. But I didn't, and that is my mistake. So I will learn from that for next time and probably make the exact same mistake again because I'm an impatient motherfucker. Well, as we draw to a close on this project, I have to say I'm pretty satisfied with the outcome. I planned this one the moment the Kickstarter was announced. Always wanted to do all of these chaps together in the one base. Just knew straight up that was what I wanted to do. It'll be my Achilles heel, I'm afraid, for probably the entirety of my life. Not a patient man, but that's okay. Well, it's certainly become my niche, but I don't know that that's an accurate statement generally. I think I've only really started to explore that this year. I mean, I've done 5 dioramas this year. That counts Camelot as 1 too. Yeah, I really only started to do that stuff this year. Probably should. It probably should count as 5 actually. It's 5 scenes in it, separate scenes. So. But who's counting? Yeah. Alright, this is our viewing angle. Let's add a little bit of Rusty Boys to this area. Alright friends, well it's your last chance now to vote on what model I'm going to paint next on stream. We're going to be painting one of the Ignis art figures. Ignis, allow me to link you my poll thing. Where the fuck is it? There it is. Your last chance to vote on which of these figures I'm going to paint next. I need to check my resin. Oh no, it's still leaking, you fucking mug. Very disappointing. That bit at the front. I may have to use the friggin' thing as well. Or we just let it be and hope that it doesn't all leak out before that stops. Interesting. I might make a thin layer of stuff. I think we're done with this guy. I can't see too many other bits I want to add more value to. My main focus was on this. Oh, I need to do the little nails. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And let's just give him some eyeballs. It was really interesting how those colours came about. Wasn't my plan. No. I'm spent. Oh no, this little fucker. Fuck! This little fucking doobie whacker. Just gonna fucking do. You know, I think I actually have to fix that resin. Alright. I'm actually going to do this over here behind myself, friends, so because I don't want to move it again. Don't want to move the camera setup again. Don't want to move any of this shit. I love this putty, by the way. This 2-part putty. It is the best stuff. Super, super hard. When it dries, it is just rock solid. I'm actually really unsure how I'm going to peel this shit off. Yeah, you can sculpt with it. The problem, I actually tried sculpting with it. The problem with sculpting with it is it dries too quickly. It dries in about 3 or 4 minutes. So I use it for bases predominantly. This is what I'll use. Again, it's another one of my tips and tricks for really quick stuff. I'll build up a base out of whatever materials, and then I'll use a little bit of this to strengthen it and adhere it in place. And this stuff, it dries harder than a rock. Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Love it. Yeah, you can't use this to sculpt with. Milli putt is what I recommend. Crazy times with my resin. Yeah, I wish I could say this is out of the ordinary. It's not. Every time I do resin, I'm just like, fuck. I think to myself, I got it this time for sure. For sure it's gonna work. Every fucking time. Even with Camelot. Even when I did Camelot, I had shit pouring out the back of a giant pond that I made. It was pouring into the crypt scene. Here, let me show you. Here's my Camelot video again. When it spins around, you'll see the crypt scene. You'll see there's a door in the back of the crypt scene. Crypt scene's coming up now. There's literally a door that led through to that pond. The pond sank about, I reckon, an inch with stuff coming out of there. So I was fucking cleaning it, and once again, this stuff came in absolute treat and saved my bacon. So it's just not a great solution because it's very, very hard to get rid of afterwards. very hard to get rid of. Alright, I'll check that in a second. She's a maniac, maniac on the floor. Yeah, it's just a thing. That'll work out fine. Probably my only small regret is that I glued the models down to the base before I could have poured the resin without the models on there, I think. Sometimes that's not possible, but I think I probably could have on this one. But it's just nice to have the figures in position when you're placing foliage and that sort of stuff, and sometimes you get bounce over from the foliage, and yeah, it's fine. I'm not going to second guess that decision. I do it pretty much every time where I attach the models to the base and then do shit, so it's just the way I do things. And yeah, the worst thing that happens is I just need to paint over elements of it. Cool. We can do that. Not that hard. I do have the green stuff UV resin there. That was my fourth option. Once again, the needed comes up trumps. Glorious! Glorious! Well, I'll be very interested to see how that looks tomorrow, because that whole area is going to be an absolute clusterfuck. So we are going to have to do the resin waterfall plan, probably. Or just sand that fucking bad boy. I don't like it for big pours. I found it doesn't work well. Unless you want to do like 10, 15 really, really thin dilute coats. And then wait for each one to dry. And dry fully. Every time I think I'm done with this guy, I'm like, oh, I gotta do that little bit and tweak that little bit. Fucking stupid. Alrighty. I am done with this figure. Just gonna do a little highlight here. And that's it. I'll glue this guy down to the base tomorrow after the resin's all dried. We'll call it a day. How's my what are we painting next? Ooh, Lesser. Wow, and Pixie and Fatuous are both on 7 votes. I've actually got the deciding vote here, because if it's a tie I get to pick, and I could vote on Pixie or Fatuous to get me to the end. Let's have a look at them actually. Just need one tiny little bit more. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. I'm going to do this. We'll grab them out. What do we got? Pixie, Pearl, I know, Fatuous. Pearl's the only one we're not doing. Alright, so we may be doing Lesser. Night, Whaley, thanks, you're a legend, pal. Alright, so Lesser, 75mm. She could be the one. Pixie, I kind of want to save Pixie for when my copy that I bought from Natalia turns up so I can compare it and learn from it. Fatuous. Let's have a look at this. This is a great figure. I'm going to pull out Lesser and have a look at her. Sort of leaning towards her because she's a little bit more in my aesthetic. These are much more challenging. Fuck, she's not big for 75mm, is she? Makes me more impressed with David's paint job now. Hey, this is clever so the horns don't break. Put them into the foam. Clever. Assume that's the horns. Yep. Nice. Look, I think we will go for this chick. I do want to paint that Fatuous model Wampa. I love it, but I think let's ease into the Ignis art with the easiest one. think that is the go. I think that is the go. Boom, boom, boom. Vote. Thank you. Show results. Boom, we're done. She is the winner with 9 votes. She is the winner. So we'll start her next on stream. Alright. Yeah, look, she'll get painted. Have no fear of that. She will indeed get painted, as will 95% of the models that I purchase. Every now and then I buy a figure and then I get it in my hand and I change my mind and I don't want to proceed, but it'll get painted very soon. Well, that pile behind my head right now, that is the most models I've had in about 3 or 4 years, I reckon. A lot of Kickstarters turned up, a lot of sales. Oh no. How can I stop that? Blue tack should work for that one. Alright, that is it. No more. We cross our fingers and hope for the best on our resin pour. I did, Alessandro. I did it at Camelot. It doesn't work. The water is more dilute and it seeps into cracks that resin's too viscous to seep into, because we tried pouring water on the bottom of the Camelot base and the water seeped through, but it couldn't see it anywhere else. So I was like, yeah, we're sweet. So I poured the resin and then shit started coming out everywhere. Yeah, so don't do that. That's a bad plan. The best thing you should do if you're patient is get yourself like PVA glue or Mod Podge and paint it all over the area where the resin's going to be poured. You want to use a thin layer, and you probably want to do a couple of thin layers to create a seal. And if you do that, the resin won't seep through. But I never have enough patience to do that. Ever. I tried it on this and it was still drying a day later and I was like, nah, fuck this, I'm fucking going. I'm doing it. Terrible plan. Terrible plan. Anyway, I'm excited to see how this looks tomorrow. We're definitely going to have to do some sanding, but it's going to be great. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Alright, well, champions, Let's find someone we can raid, shall we? Let's find someone we can raid. Who is cracking tonight? Thank you, Wilson. You're a superstar. Let's have a look who's on. Piss off, Dino. Hobby Room's good. We've rated them before. Mike Moans, he's painting a D&D figure. Great. Jesus Gomez, bit of Spanish painting for you. Mufasa's painting a lot of models. Hard pass. Big Deno's painting Diorama. What a legend that guy is. What's going on here? Commissar Crazy. Let's have a look at this. Don't recall. That's Ryu from fucking
brownish red lips. Right.
Street Fighter.
Should be close enough to the box, to the reference art though.
What a guy. He's only got 4, so let's put him in on the potentials. Iron Ant. He's been in our stream before. What is happening here? See, this is not miniature painting 12thron. Just fuck off. Fuck off out of here, alright? Where's Orthoba? I don't see him. I don't see him. How do we search for... Can we just search for Warhammer? Is that the go? How's there no... Where is he? I can't see him. Am I blind? Am I missing him? These are all not people I want. Surely he's got a tag for miniature paintings. No, he hasn't. He's a numpty. Alright, let's search for him. Let's go have a look. Little Bo Peep. Thank you, whoever did that. I'm pretty sure we've rated him before, haven't we? Let's go. He's only got 1 viewer. And he's painting something that's pretty good. Alright, let's do it. I don't feel bad, mate. Fuck 'em. Friends, you're all amazing. I hope you had a good night tonight watching me clusterfuck up some resin pour. Looking forward to seeing you all again on Wednesday when we keep going with some new figures. I might finish off Eldarian actually and maybe do some preparation. But otherwise, yeah, Wednesday night my time. You're all champions. Here we go. Let's go raid Orthoba. Peace. Okay. Big dinner out.
I could use some more coffee. Yeah, we'll grab a little more coffee. What? Oh, for creep's sakes.